Well, it is a beautiful spring day and anticipation is high. Millwall are close, and let's be honest about it, much closer than any neutral observers were expecting at the start of the campaign. It's John Driscoll and Adrian Clark with you with commentary on this one. And Adrian, when you look back to the start of this campaign, Alex Neil was talking about the playoffs. Not many people had them down as promotion contenders.
No, and I would have been included in that. No, I think they've overperformed this season. Millwall has been an outstanding campaign. I think most Lions fans would have taken playoffs at best, but they are still very much in the hunt for a top 2 place. And this match here this afternoon is a real big one.
Well, Millwall have 4 games to play. Will 10 points take them into the Premier League? Will it have to be a perfect 12 from 12? Will that even be enough? Who knows? That's one reason that their boss, Alex Neil, says it's important for his players not to feel the fear. They have to enjoy every moment. They could have their playoff place wrapped up by this evening. A win against QPR now would take the Lions into the top 2 before Ipswich play Middlesbrough tomorrow. There is so much riding on this. They're higher than they expected to be, but they're close enough to the Premier League to start to feel the nerves, and that's been the focus of their boss this week. Calm them down, make them enjoy it, make them appreciate the moment, and appreciate where you are, because as he says, you might not get another opportunity like this. He has been in plenty of successful promotion campaigns before. He knows what he's talking about. Well, Millwall make one change. Their young French midfielder, Derek Mazu-Sakho, is in. Their championship top scorer, Mihailo Ivanovic, is the man left on the bench. Our assumption is that Kamil Negli will move further forward behind Josh Coburn. Joe Bryan is ruled out. Alfie Doughty hasn't made it. 20-year-old Zach Lovelace is among the subs. Belgian midfielder Casper De Norre has had his contract with the club extended this week. And Queen's Park Rangers also make one change. We think there's a formation switch as well. Ryan Colley is out and Kwame Poku is in. So we expect that Poku, Harvey Vale and Paul Smith will be a line of 3 behind Richard Kone rather than the 4-4-2. Ilias Scher and Nicholas Manson are both fit to return to the subs bench. Scher last played on December the 6th. And Adrian, you've picked out a couple of key players.
I have, yeah. Kwame Poku, first start since the 4th of January. When he signed from Peterborough United for less than £1 million in compensation, it felt like a real bargain at the time, but injuries have really hindered his impact. No goals, no assists. He got 20 direct goal involvements in League One last season. Can his QPR career take off this afternoon? Yeah, Josh Coburn, it is his highest scoring championship season, but he's only scored twice here at the New Den. Got 5 in his last 7 though, and I think he's a real handful. And I think with Ivanovic not alongside him today, there's a real onus on Josh Coburn to provide that all-important cutting edge.
Our match referee today is Tom Neal, assisted by George Byrne and Graham Kay. Millwall have committed the most fouls in the championship this season. Alex Neil has been promoted before with Hamilton, with Norwich and with Sunderland. He's only 44 and he's played 538 games now as a manager. And Julien Stéphan only came in June. He'll be finishing in mid-table. He's already got half an eye on what's happening next season. It is packed at the Den. It's not the biggest of stadiums, but it could be absolutely packed every week, week in, week out, next season, if Millwall defy all of the odds. They've got a mid-table budget, but they are genuine contenders for a top 2 finish. One of those promotion places has gone. Coventry wrapped it up last night. We don't yet know who will be joining them automatically, sitting back on the beach and enjoying watching the playoffs. Who will be in the playoffs? Millwall could wrap up a top 6 place by the time Wrexham's game finishes, so they won't know when we leave here today. they have to win and then see what else happens. 4 games to play. They start with the London derby. It's their last London derby of the season. Queen's Park Rangers have made the journey of 10 miles from the west to the east, just south of the river. Millwall's home since 1993, when they moved from the old Cold Blow Lane. And Mr. Neil gets us underway. There is a roar of anticipation. Millwall are close, and these 4 games are huge.
Yeah, really looking forward to this contest. I think it's hugely important for Millwall, who have actually accrued more points away from home this season, which will be a surprise to many, I'm sure, because this can be a really intimidating home ground.
Well, their last 2 games at home they've lost, having been in front. And there's not a trend that they would like to carry on, certainly not if they are going to be promoted this season. It's delivered into the penalty area. It's Femi Aziz looking for Tiano Ballo at the back post, and it was well defended by Mbenge.
Excellent defending from Mbenge. Femi Aziz, he's very good at this, just chops back onto his left foot. Flights a really teasing cross into the box, but does enough, doesn't he? The right back.
And it's Aziz across to float that one into the middle. Queen's Park Rangers clear as far as Ballo, and he does really well to keep this going. All the big guys are still up, and he will try and wriggle away, and it's gone behind again.
Now, good determined play there from Ballo. And look, they're very good from set pieces, aren't they, Millwall? 2 inside the first 2 minutes. I think scored 22, haven't they, this season from set plays. One of the best, most effective teams in the division.
And Aziz shows his versatility, goes across to the other side to take this one. And swings it into the middle this time. It was Varane who got ahead to it in front of his goalkeeper. And then Kone hits it forward. Is there a break on here? He went chasing after his own forward pass there, Kone, but Millwall have got it back, recycled it, and Kramer goes wide to Femi Aziz. And again, the big men are still up. It goes in towards Coburn at the near post, and there'll still be an opportunity. And what a finish that is! What a start to the game for Millwall! A perfect start. Were there any nerves? Well, not now. 2.5 minutes in. Derek Masu Sako fires his first goal for the club. Alex Neil made the change. He brought the young Frenchman in, and what a reward.
Well, this is a huge goal for Millwall, and a really good goal too. It's a period of sustained pressure from Millwall right from kickoff. They've flown out of the blocks, and here it falls really nicely for Mazusaku. Doesn't he steer it calmly into the bottom corner? Aziz does well initially, and here he doesn't try and whack it. He just places it beautifully into the corner, and it is a dream start for Millwall.
He was the only one of Millwall's outfield players today who didn't come into this game with a goal to his name. That didn't last long.
No, he just reacted quickest, didn't he, to that loose ball. It was partially cleared, and he was the one on his toes, on the front foot. And then once he gets to the ball first, it's just good technique, isn't it? Just, places it firmly into the bottom corner.
Well, Queen's Park Rangers have barely had the ball in the opposition half of the pitch, wasn't it? Early pressure from Millwall, a couple of corners. They kept the pressure on that crucial second phase after the initial set piece has been cleared.
They barely had a kick, had they, Millwall? They completed one pass by the time that ball found the back of the net. So, yeah, they're up against it now.
Here's the man. Del Boy, as they call him, Derek Mazzy-Sacco. And Negli's under a lot of pressure from Richard Kone, who's furious with the referee's call.
Yeah, it's what you want to see from your centre forward. You know, a bit of hard graft out of possession. We just overstepped the mark. An arm on the back of Negli.
Cooper forward. Well, there's no call for any nerves to come into it now, you would think, for Millwall. Alex Neil was obviously concerned enough about it beforehand to talk openly to the media about it the other day.
Yeah, look, they're all big games, and yeah, of course they're going to be nerves, but you've got to embrace it, haven't you? So you've got to enjoy this kind of pressure. This is the best sort of pressure, isn't it? Rather than being at the bottom end.
And perhaps you feel that there's a little bit less on Millwall because no one expected them at the start of the season to be here. And even though they've been up and around for most of the campaign, they still rarely figure in people's calculations. I'm not a betting man, but you could have made some money on Millwall being this high.
Yeah, that'd have been a good price, that is for sure. But Alex Neil knows the course, he knows the distance. Done it before, hasn't he? And often you see it, you know, managers that have been promoted from the Championship go and do it again.
Casper Denora's reacted quickest to this, and he swings it in dangerously, and it's glanced wide by Tristan Kramer.
Absolutely awful from Queen's Park Rangers here, on two fronts. You know, initially, look at all that space for Denora. Great ball in, and then who's marking Kramer? Kramer's a dangerous player, absolutely no one around him. Should maybe hit the target.
Now, the goals have been spread around. He's got 3 this season. He's right back today. He's centre-back sometimes.
Yeah, I was at the Hawthorns last time out, and he had a really strong game, Kramer, at right back. He's sort of built like a centre-back, isn't he? It's a very solid job for them.
Norrington Davis with a cross that's deflected, and Anthony Patterson is comfortably across to claim it. Important signing, and almost you could say ruthless signing, couldn't you, in the winter window, Patterson, because Max Crocom's wasn't doing anything wrong.
I was thinking exactly the same when it happened. Crocombe was doing really well, but Patterson has more experience in big games.
And Paul Smith comes jinking inside, and he goes for goal. And it went straight behind. I wondered momentarily if there was a deflection, but no, goal kick.
Yeah, look, Paul Smith's in decent form at the moment. He just drops a shoulder. It's really nice, actually, creates space for himself, but he does drag that shot horribly wide. But at least Queen's Park Rangers are inside the opposition half, trying to make things happen now.
He's got a few goals and a few spectacular goal celebrations as well, the little man from Northern Ireland.
They've actually scored more, haven't they, than Millwall this season, which is remarkable. Queen's Park Rangers very much sort of epitome of a mid-table team this year, but going forward is not an issue for them. It's keeping goals out at the other end of the pitch that's been the problem, and that's why they're not in the promotion picture, really.
Well, some of their results are wild, aren't they? A 7-goal defeat against Coventry, recently 4 against Middlesbrough, but then they thrashed Portsmouth, and a few boring games thrown in as well. And swept behind for a corner.
It's a little bit loose, wasn't it? From Rangers there. Just gifted Millwall a cheap corner. Their 3rd of the game.
And again, the big fellas, Cooper and Taylor, make their way forward. Have a real threat on their earlier corners. And it's Aziz again into that near post. And Kramer's there first, uses his considerable frame to make sure it goes behind for another corner.
Yeah, it was quite the barrier, wasn't it? Absolutely no chance of getting round him there. And it was interesting, he wanted the corner. He knows that the deliveries are almost always spot on.
And it's Aziz been told to wait. Well, the regulation lecture is delivered. Femi Aziz with a corner. And it goes into the near post, has to be pushed over the top by Joe Walsh.
Yeah, I don't think he meant that. Sometimes a player will try and shoot from corners. I know I did sometimes, especially on a windy day, but that would normally be the in-swinger here. I mean, it almost creeps in, doesn't it?
It's Aziz again. Series of corners now, and he goes that near post again. This one floats straight over the top.
Yeah, definite commentator curse there. I said the deliveries are almost always spot on. And we get two questionable ones from Femi Aziz.
Home supporters cheering on the high press there from their team.
I was looking at some of the stats. They've had the second highest number of high turnovers, so they are a real pressing team, Mill. That's part of their DNA, particularly here at the New Den, where the fans demand that high work ethic.
Let's have a look at the updated table. So there we are, in play as it stands. Millwall are moving up to second. If you're a Lions fan, what do you want to happen tomorrow between Ipswich and Middlesbrough? I guess they want a Middlesbrough win tomorrow, and then that just opens the door, doesn't it? I guess Millwall, you've got 4 games; they're all winnable.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably they wouldn't want to swap their running with anybody else in the Championship. So yeah, look, they're in with a shout, but they do need obviously Ipswich and Southampton to 40. You do wonder now if it's Middlesbrough with that momentum that are going to sneak in.
So Zach Sturge, who is about their only fit left back. Not that that's an implication that he wouldn't be playing otherwise, but Brian off and on, wasn't he, and injured. Doughty struggling with injuries. It goes long towards Cooper on the edge of the penalty area, who got there, couldn't really get it under control. It was cleared then by Kieran Morgan. And Smith can't get on the end of that. Queen's Park Rangers just can't get hold of possession.
Loose passing from QPR to start this game.
So they're regular foes. They've been in this league together since Millwall were promoted 2017. There's been plenty of give and take in the battles between them. And then the referee has pulled it back. It was a good lolloping run, wasn't it, from Caleb Taylor?
Could you? I think that's the right word. It was lolloping, wasn't it? Excellent choice of word. And look, the referee should have played on, shouldn't he? I didn't understand why he pulled that back, because the move had progressed.
There's another player, isn't it, who's looking like a bargain, isn't he? And lots of West Brom fans regretting that bit of transfer dealing. And Kasper Denorov takes the free kick, and it goes long. And Cooper was up, and Ballo was there, and an opportunity for Kramer to try the subtle finish, trying to dink it over the top. There wasn't a lot to aim for, and it's behind for the goal kick.
Yeah. Messi defending again from Queen's Park Rangers. Here, the goalkeeper's a bit slow off his line. Ballo nips in. Is he fouled? That's what I'd ask here. I don't think so. And then Cranmer with the lob. It's a really difficult one for him.
And again, Queen's Park Rangers untidy and ball is turned over. And Negley, the Nora, and back again to Camille Negley. Sturge. Cooper. Lovely football. And Ballo to the edge of the penalty area. And eventually they get hold of it. Queen's Park Rangers, and it's Poku who can lead a break on here. Tries to measure that and give Smith something to chase, but Cranmer won the race.
First we've seen of Poku in the game. Talked ahead of kickoff. His first start since early January.
Here's Mazu Sakho to drive forward. Tracked by Varane, he goes wide to Aziz. Little sway of the hips, and he delivers into the penalty area. Everybody appealing for something, and it comes back out again, and Millwall can try to recycle, and again they turn it over, and Bengay won it back, and then Sturge got a boot in. There's no foul there, so we go on, and it's delivered into that penalty area again. It was Aziz coming in at the back post. Mazu Sakho again is first to it. Now Negley, he switches it onto his left and scores superbly. It's 2 for Millwall. What a start. Queen's Park Rangers can't live with them.
What a magnificent finish from Negley. And what a fabulous start to this match Millwall have made. No chance for the keeper there, Joe Walsh. An unerring curler into the bottom corner. Queen's Park Rangers have been blown away here. First to the second ball again, and here it's just too easy, isn't it? The way he chops inside his marker. He dives in, doesn't he? Here, really poor from Varane. Let's not take anything away from the finish. That is supremely accurate, and Millwall are in pole position.
Well, it's Negley's 4th goal of the season. Millwall's 2nd goal of this game. The intensity that they have brought with them has just been too much for Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah, it's just, they have blown them away. The intensity, the aggression, the hostility, all the things that you expect when you're coming here, Millwall have delivered, and Queen's Park Rangers just don't look like they were ready for it.
And Denora comes forward again, and he swings it into the penalty area. Well, given a couple of nervy home performances, when they were just 1 up, if they'd sat back, the whole thing could have changed back. The second goal is great news for Millwall. They come again. And the cross, though, was a little careless from Cranmer. Edwards under pressure, and Bengay, they're still trying to play out the way that they want to, Queen's Park Rangers. And Vale with a touch. And all the stats, of course, are massively in Millwall's favour, including the possession. And that's not because they're retaining possession, it's because they're winning the ball back constantly and bombing forward.
Completely, yeah. I mean, it's not often you see Millwall with that much of the ball. But, yeah, I'm looking at the passing accuracy of QPR so far. Just 60%. They can't look after the ball.
It'll be a yellow card, isn't it, for Ronnie Edwards? Grabbed the shirt of Josh Coburn after a big striker had turned him.
Definite foul. Yeah, he's a handful, Coburn, and yeah, he's tugged back there clearly.
Now they've got to organise themselves for another Millwall set piece, another Aziz set piece. And that means those three massive defenders coming forward to join big Josh Coburn. And Aziz delivers. It was won by Taylor. He must have been onside. Now Kramer. Stopped by Koenig.
They look hungry, Millwall. Hungry for more goals, just to... Obviously, having given up some leads recently here, they want to put Rangers out of sight, don't they?
Kramer with a looping throw. It comes out to Mazusako again, and he dinks it back in. It's the third time he's really picked up the ball in that area. Derek Mazusaku scored with the first. He will end up with an assist for Negley for the second.
Yeah, it's looking like a good call, isn't it, from Alex Neil? Yeah, there might have been one or two people that thought, Mazusaku, you know, what's going on there? But he's justified his selection, that is for sure.
Aggression again from Millwall in the midfield, but it's Mazusako actually comes off worse. The R's show them no sympathy. They're 2-0 down in a London derby. You wouldn't really expect them to be going soft. Varane, Clark Salter and Edwards. And then Kieran Morgan. And Edwards tries to curl this one around. It was a well-timed run by Mbenge. And it's Ballo who gets back, but it's a Queen's Park Rangers corner.
Well, it's better, isn't it, from the visitors? Lovely pass from Ronnie Edwards. He just clips it over the fullback's head, and really well, doesn't he, Ballo, to get back.
With Harvey Vale across and try and swing it in. And Benge struggling a little bit. He got a knock, didn't he, from the challenge from Ballo. Vale's corner into the near post. A little disappointing, but pocketed really well. They win it back. Vale into the penalty area again, and it's a corner.
Yeah, a bit of a slip there, wasn't there, from Denore? Opened the door temporarily, and he gets another go here, Vale. QPR haven't really been a set-piece team this year. They only scored 9, which is on the low side.
Harvey Vale, it's another opportunity. More on that one, and it comes to the edge of the penalty area. Norrington Davis swings it back in, the heads go up, and Vale had come in from taking the corner and was threatening, and the referee says he got the last touch.
Interesting. Looked like Negley, didn't it, at first? As it comes back in here, you see Negley's just looking over his shoulder. He reacts quickest to that second ball. To me, that looked like it should have been a corner.
Yeah, agreed. But the referee had the right angle. Let's give him the credit. Long ball, and they're through again. And is there a third? No, it's lifted over the top by Negley's finish for the second goal was wonderful. That goes down as a wasted opportunity.
It should be 3. This is so poor, isn't it, from Queen's Park Rangers? Coburn gets a lovely little flick on it. Clark Salter can't deal with a flick on, and in that 1v1 here, Negley, I understand why he goes for the dink, but it's too much on it, isn't it?
That really could have been game over midway through the first half. Kone penalised for a shove.
It's been a really disappointing start to the game for Edwards, for Clark Salter. And the heart of that QPR defence, they're a bit shaky. The midfield in front as well, struggling for Varane and Morgan. And Millwall just too strong for them at the moment.
Sturge takes it and they throw the big guys forward for even unpromising situations. It turned it into something now, and Aziz will get another opportunity here. Comes back his way. And he delivers it towards Coburn in the middle, and it has to be pushed over the top. So much pressure here from Millwall.
This is unlucky. Another teasing Femi Aziz cross, and Coburn just bullies Edwards, doesn't he? It's a decent attempt, this, and it needed tipping over.
Aziz with another corner. This time it swings out towards the penalty spot. Coburn goes in. He was offside anyway. Walsh quickly gets it moving over the head of Smith. A bit of wrestling going on the edge of the area there to stop Kwame Poku. And that's a free kick against Jonathan Varane, who will be feeling that he was just fighting fire with fire.
Here's that chance again. He wasn't even favourite to win the aerial duel, was he? He did ever so well to get this on target.
Quite hard to mark everybody up, isn't it, when you've got so many big fellas in there?
Yeah, they are a huge team. Millwall. Yeah, a lot of lads 6 foot plus, a lot of aerial threats. And I don't think QPR have been particularly strong in that department this season. They've conceded 16 headed goals, the most of any team in the Championship.
Is Sturge. Wants to go on the outside of Mbenge, wins a free kick. Another set piece to defend for the R's.
Yeah, it's been a torrid opening 27 minutes for the West Londoners.
Aziz again. There's a one-man wall. Stop him just firing it into that gap at the near post. A beleaguered Queen's Park Rangers defence steals itself again. Aziz with the free kick, and it was a vital touch.
It was a good header from Clark Salter. The quality of the balls being put into the box here are exceptional, and that is a good piece of defending.
This one is a flatter delivery and another opportunity. And then the long-range shot comes fizzing in, or the whistle had already gone for the challenge on Kone. Kone's been doing a lot of defending in this game.
Yeah, he hasn't had any joy at the top end of the pitch, has he, Kone? There was a foul here. Yeah, and the second ball there, he just goes for the strike, doesn't he? Femi Aziz definitely catches the player.
Sonora, who tried the shot, there was plenty of power in it. And there's Coburn again. And Mazusako. And they work it again, and Ballo urges Aziz to get forward. Aziz cuts back and delivers. Some Millwall fans urging Mazusako to shoot. He didn't quite have the ball at the time.
He's quick to those second balls, though, isn't he, Mazusako?
And Bengay has gone wholehearted into that. The referee giving himself a moment to think about the colour of the card, and it's yellow.
That's nailed on yellow, wasn't it, from Bengay? 2 fouls in the space of, what, 3 minutes? On Sturge. Here, yeah, it's very reckless, actually. From the right back. Look how high that foot goes up. I think in the Premier League, we'll be taking a look at that.
There's a joy for Millwall waiting for VAR if they do get promoted this season. They haven't been in the top flight since before it was rebranded as the Premier League. They had a couple of seasons up. We're old enough to remember, but not everybody is.
No, I certainly remember.
Well, they were top of the league, weren't they, in October?
Yeah. I remember playing at the old ground as well, the original Den. It was, that was someplace.
Well, this has been a cauldron today for half an hour. And Aziz puts it back in again. And Denora steps away. Mazusako. And drilled in by Sturge. And Cooper down to Ballo. Back into the middle it goes. Struggling to get it away. Morgan just helps it to the edge of the penalty area. Pocky's under pressure. And he passes that pressure on. And thanks a lot. It's Norwich and Davis who did really well from there. And then Mazusako goes across. Turns the possession over again. Oh, I thought he had. Referee. I'm slightly confused, I must say.
Yeah, I didn't understand that decision. The pressing from Millwall, though, in this first half an hour or so has been outstanding. And it's a lesson, really, in making the visitors feel under pressure. And they completely deserve this 2-goal lead, as those stats outline.
Yes, a hostile welcome for their London rivals. Boos for Mbenge after his involvement in that challenge. Does really well, though. Wasn't worried about that, was he? There, the Senegal Youth International. Vale tries to go on the outside. He got round the outside, but couldn't control the ball.
Yeah, hasn't really happened for any of the QPR attackers, has it, here today? Vale playing in at 10, finds himself on the right. And this attack, that was a great piece of skill from Mbenge. And here, he just overcooks the touch, doesn't he? You see what he's trying to do. Not too heavy. Yeah, I don't think Julien Stéphan will be very happy at all with how this first half has panned out.
And again, the battle goes on between Edwards and Coburn. You just can't get it, even if you win it, you can't win it cleanly when it goes long to Coburn.
Yeah, he doesn't give defenders a moment's peace, Coburn. He's physical, he's quick. And yeah, he might not be super prolific, but he does a really good job at the top end for Alex Neil.
8 goals in the league and 1 in the cup. Since he arrived, got full time, as it were, from Middlesbrough. And here's Kramer charging forward from right back. He was expecting Aziz to be right behind him. And so there's an opportunity to break here. There might be a yellow card coming here. I think it is, yeah. But it's a bit cynical, isn't it, from Femi Aziz?
Yeah, it's the sort of yellow card referees will always give. Yeah, he's away. He knows what he's doing there. The winger.
Trailing Reece Norrington Davis, who's on loan from Sheffield United.
Femi Aziz has made 12 crosses in this first half. A few from set pieces, albeit, but you know, the supply line is there, isn't it?
Oh, Kramer in on Smith, but credit there to the little man. He bounced straight back up again, didn't he? Harvey Vale. Kone back again to Vale. It's lovely football from Queen's Park Rangers until Smith tries to gather it on the edge of the area.
I enjoyed that little passage of play, though, from Queen's Park Rangers. Look, triangle. Smith made a good run from out to in. Just the final pass that was off, wasn't it?
There's a decent travelling support here as well, making themselves heard despite the travails of their team. Vale to Poku. Oh, lovely footwork. Second line of defence was Ballo there.
That's what Poku is all about. He used to do this for fun for Peterborough United last season. 1v1 with Cooper. Oh, see you later. That's good, diligent play from Ballo. Not for the first time in this half.
Got a thumbs up from his big central defender, didn't he, for bailing him out. Vale with another corner now for Queen's Park Rangers. And a diving clearance by Coburn. Norrington Davis. Ballo, the referees, he's trying to let this go on. Credit there to Tom Neal. He gave it a second, didn't he, to see if Millwall could get decent possession.
Yeah, Femi Aziz, 12 crosses. He's just been a nightmare to contain, particularly inside the final third, down that right-hand side. You know, he's been outstanding, hasn't he, in this first half? He's really quiet when I saw him at West Bromwich Albion in that goalless draw, but yeah, he's back on form today.
As Sturge. Ballo was an Austrian international, and Sturge into the area. He can go for goal. Why not? Slipped it into the side netting in the end. I wonder whether he would go across the face of goal. Thought that he saw a gap.
This is quality from Ballo. Great vision, and it deserved better from Sturge. He's got 2 or 3 inside the box. Coburn cannot believe he hasn't squared it to him. Not really on to catch him out of the near post.
Alice Neal's got a winning record against Queen's Park Rangers. He's coached against them many times. Here's Kone. Nicely done. And he delivered the cross. A little deflection on that one. Cooper at the near post. Morgan tries to put it back in again. And then it was Denoro who came across, and Negley who can carry the ball clear. A little slip by Ballo, and Mbenge is not going to let him get away with that too easily. Morgan. And Smith through the middle. And for the first time, it breaks down the final third untidily for Queen's Park Rangers.
That just sums up QPR in this first half, doesn't it? Smith, a good player, in decent form, but fairly simple pass, just wildly overhit. And yeah, you wonder, Julio Stefan and his staff, they contemplate making changes at the break. This starting 11 has not functioned well.
Kone chasing this on his own. Patterson was well positioned. Benge's header. And Sturge under pressure from Mbenge. It's Denora who steps in. And Taylor's pass was the untidy one this time. Varane. First real spell of quiet possession that we've had in the game.
Yeah. One-way traffic it's been, as you can see with the stats. But they're having more of the ball, aren't they, Queen's Park Rangers now?
Poku can't get it across, but he does really well to win it back again. As it comes to Morgan. Vale found himself in some space and he stabbed it across, but it was behind Kone.
Yeah, you see Aziz covering his fullback. That's what they've, for all of their good attacking play, the wingers have worked so hard in this first half. It's really stood out to me.
The Queen's Park Rangers have another corner here. The game can really change if they grab something, of course, in this kind of period of the contest. And putting of a Millwall persuasion, enjoying themselves in the spring sunshine with a 2-goal lead. It could all change. Smith delivers, he curls it under the crossbar. Coburn defending stoutly again.
Yeah, you're right, though. Concede here, Millwall, and it puts a completely different complexion on the game for as well as they've played. So it's an important 3 or 4 minutes here.
And Mbenge into the area it goes. And the referee was an offside before the opportunity.
They'll be in no hurry, will they now, Millwall? They're looking towards that half-time whistle. I mean, I'm struggling to see the clear offside there. I
think it's Kone, isn't it? I think
it's only, yeah, fractional.
I think he gets shoved offside, actually.
Yeah, we need the lines out. No, we don't want that.
Yeah, Millwall in no hurry. The comfortable lead. And the half-time atmosphere has started, hasn't it? With everybody getting up and heading off to drinks and toilets and everything else. Norrington Davis for Queen's Park Rangers. And Kone. He wanted a quick pass available and he couldn't see one. Energy in the press still from Millwall. But Rangers return retain the possession. Clark Salter to Varane. And the booze for Mbenge, and again he gets round his man. And Poku wide on the right. A little bit of skill and an early cross this time. Away by Cooper. And then there was a little bit of after you between the Millwall midfield, the Queen's Park Rangers midfielders. And Poku drives into the area again, retains possession now. Last touch was off a defender. Corner.
He's come alive, hasn't he? Last 10, 15 minutes, Kwame Poku. Took a while to warm up. I think he'll be a big asset to QPR if they can keep him fit. It was a good driving run. Quick, good feet. And it took 3 players there to crowd him out.
So just 1 minute being added on, which is essentially this corner. In it comes into the area, and it will fall for Smith. And again, he just can't get it right in the penalty area.
Yeah, wild from Smith. Only their second attempt on goal in this first half, and never looked like threatening the back of the net, did it? Awkward one to hit.
And that is the end of the first half that has gone very well indeed for Millwall. They made a storming start. Derek Mazu-Saka brought into the side, curled them into a lead just 2.5 minutes into it. And Queen's Park Rangers have barely caught their breath before Camille Negley produced another fine finish. Millwall very much on the front foot, very much on top. They know that if they win, then tonight they will sit back in the top 2 of the Championship. And so far, they are doing their bit and making it look easy. Half-time at the Den, it is Millwall 2, Queen's Park Rangers 0. So Millwall are dreaming of promotion to the Premier League. They've never been in it in the Premier League as it's been branded since 1992. They were relegated in 1990. They had a 2-year stay in that top division. The game when they went top, they beat Queen's Park Rangers. Trevor Francis had a penalty save. So they invested in the summer. They actually made a profit in the transfer market in the summer, Millwall, to get back up again. And then in January, they spent a little bit of money. Barry Bannon, one of the players who came in. So Bannon and Tommy Watson and Anthony Patterson. It's only really Patterson made an impact of the 3, but so I suppose if you're James Beryl, so you can say, well, we didn't need to invest.
Yeah, I guess so. Look, I would have expected Barry Bannon to play more. He's such a good Championship performer. He was sensational for Sheffield Wednesday pretty much every time I saw them play. So, you know, he's got plenty to offer, but not easy to get in this team at the moment.
Well, that's a good bit of news for Queen's Park Rangers. Ilias Chair, who did a hamstring in the early part of December. Interesting, Julien Stéphan being quoted this week wanting an attacking, creative midfield player. It does make such a difference when you're missing important players.
Yeah, completely. He was the go-to guy for QPR for many years. Such a skillful player, but you know he's only made 9 starts this season. Just the 1 goal, a couple of assists. But had he been available more often, maybe he would have made the difference and they would have got a few more points. That said, I do think that QPR's issues are at the back. They're definitely not as strong as they need to be to mount a promotion bid.
I mean, I can do keeping up like that, by the way. You don't need Ilias Chair.
I know.
So the Rangers players are back out in their green and white hoops. And there is there's a small army of substitutes ready, isn't there, to come on. Well, you said Steve Cook. Oh, there's 4. Right, deep breath required here, including Nicholas Madsen, Roman Burrell. And you said you wanted a bit more muscle at the back, and Steve Cook is there, and Isaac Hayden.
Yeah, well, I knew that Julien Stéphan wouldn't be happy with that first half performance, but I think a quadruple substitution at half-time tells you he was extremely unhappy.
Right. deep breath. So it's Paul Smith who's gone off, who has been in good form recently, but certainly did not have his best game today. He's left one, obviously. It'll be interesting to see. I'm guessing that Ilias Chair isn't ready for 45 minutes, and so he doesn't want to risk it. He was talking about the need to try and finish as high up the league table as you can, but also get players with some minutes, like Madsen, who's been out injured, get some minutes under their belt before the end of the season.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that. I think Varane's gone off as well. He had a really poor first half.
And Benge, who had an up and down first half, I would say, Adrian. He did some things really well.
He did, yeah. He struggled early on in the game, made a few fouls, but he grew into it. But yeah, look, 4 changes at the break speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Yes, as also our half-time highlights, which were entirely at one end of the ground, despite the fact that Queen's Park Rangers got hold of the ball in the second half of the first half, but obviously held no sway with the manager's half-time decisions. So Burrell, just confirm these changes for you. There's Burrell, who's got 10 goals this season. So you're not weakening the team by bringing these guys on. That's him trying to get involved, and early indication that he's a threat.
Yeah, he's a leading scorer. Yeah, his finishing has been miles better than anybody else this season for QPR. They took off the whole midfield at half-time, Varane and Morgan. I think both guys did struggle badly, didn't they?
And here's the corner, right at the start of the second half, volleyed away by Kramer. The season of long throws, it's Edwards who delivers. Poku's still on that right side, but he loses the battle. And then he fouls Ballo. Not enough to prompt a yellow card.
Been so impressed with Ballo's industry in this game. There's some good moments in the final third, but he will get back and lend a hand to his fullback.
Well, it has not been a happy journey across. I'm sure there are more empty seats than there were at the beginning, but maybe there's a long queue downstairs. They're still in the game at 2. Recent history has shown that Millwall are vulnerable. They've conceded a couple of late goals in home defeats recently. A draw from this situation, how dominant they were in that first half, would feel like a real blow to them.
Oh, not half. Yeah, this is just what they needed. It's a very mediocre performance at West Brom. They were poor here at home to Norwich, deservedly beaten that day. So they needed an uplifting performance in the first half. Certainly got it. And now it's a matter of can they kick on, I guess.
They need to rediscover the energy that they came into this game with. They blew Queen's Park Rangers away in the opening stages. As ever with football, getting the finishes right really matters as well, doesn't it? Because you can have a load of pressure at the start of the game and not find the net.
Yeah, score when you're on top. That's the mantra, isn't it? And it doesn't always happen, but Millwall did, and that's why they're so comfortable at the moment.
Edwards out wide, doing the defending.
Yeah, he shifted across from centre half, hasn't he? He'll play it right back with Cook and Clark-Salter on his inside. Yeah. Stern.
Yeah, did not enjoy that first 45 minutes. The son of one of the assistant managers of the French national team, so his dad will be trying to win the World Cup. Well, Julien is plotting next season's championship campaign for Queen's Park Rangers. They can technically make the playoffs, but we already knew that they won't. But they are on a 5-match unbeaten run, Rangers. And there is the live table. Millwall moving above Ipswich into second. Remember, Ipswich and Middlesbrough play tomorrow. Or Derby are leading against Oxford.
Yeah, putting a bit of pressure on Hull City for 6th place. And yeah, Derby have got a lot of injuries at the moment, but in good form.
Clash between Harvey Vale and Justin Cramer. Madison sliced his clearance somewhat. Taylor fires it forward. And with a new opponent, Coburn beaten in the air there by Cook. Negley to Aziz. Ballo, lovely touch around the corner to find Sturge, who can drive into the penalty area. Excellent work. It was Edwards, the reconverted, the repurposed right back.
Good combination, aren't they, down that side? Sturge and Ballo. We've seen them link several times here. That's gorgeous, isn't it? Brilliant little back flick. Driving run from Sturge, who does that part of the game exceptionally well.
And Sturge has another opportunity to cross. It was missed by the first defender, Edwards. And then cleared. Burrell trying to put some pressure on Millwall when they just trying to recycle these attacking situations. Well,
Queen's Park Rangers head coach was looking for that reaction at the start of the second half. He hasn't really had it, has he? It's Millwall that are very much in the ascendancy, looking to push on, get that game-killing third.
Well, it took over at the end of December 2024. Wants his players to have a fire in the belly and a cool head at the same time. That's the challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's playing with enough passion, but not letting that overwhelm you.
Yeah, wise words. But there speaks a man who knows what it takes to get promoted. So, but I think you could say that about any football team, couldn't you? It's just, yeah, you've got to have fire in your belly, but you've got to stay calm in those big moments.
Now here's Coburn. And he is pulled back. Just wondered for a moment there. It was Steve Cook he was in that wrestling match with.
Yeah. Coburn might be a little bit unlucky there. That's my first impression. But Cook is rugged, isn't he? He's a really strong defender. Can still... Yeah, I mean, the left arm was on the shoulder. I don't think there was a great deal of contact. But when you put your arm on an opponent, it's often a free kick.
£5 million for Middlesbrough is looking like good investment for Josh Coburn at the moment. Denora comes in, nicks the ball back again. Hayden, though, to Burrell. And he goes on the outside of Sturge, who blocks the cross enough to send it behind.
Yeah, Burrell is a good player. One of the success stories for QPR this season, no question about that. Making a step up from Burton Albion.
Good noise from the Queen's Park Rangers supporters as the ball goes into the area. Cooper glanced it away. And Kramer cooked as well. He turns it over. Now Clark Salter to deliver him to the area. And it was Burrell who got up and he's glanced his header wide.
Disappointed with himself. Best piece of play we've seen from Queen's Park Rangers all afternoon. Wonderful cross. Terrible header from Romain Burrell. He's not happy with himself, is he?
It was a rare example of them quickly turning it over, wasn't it? Winning the ball back quickly.
Yeah, it's been what Millwall have done to them throughout this game. They finally did that themselves, and Burrell is better than he showed there.
If you want that in stats terms, then they're second with the PPDA of low-intensity pressing. Just for those of you who like that sort of thing. Basically means that Queen's Park Rangers don't turn over the ball, don't put teams under pressure.
Yeah, they sit off a little bit more than most. So yeah, in a way, it's a clash of styles because Millwall very much are your in-your-face team.
I think that was Coburn offside, wasn't it? In the middle. Long from Joe Walsh, the Queen's Park Rangers goalkeeper. Ballo does really well. He was under a bit of pressure there, wasn't he? And Sturge opens it up. Now Kramer with lots of grass in front of him to sprint into. Or offside. Must have come back from the offside position. Femi Aziz.
What a shame from a Millwall point of view, because this was great football. Lovely switch of play. And I think I think his foot is just offside. You see it on the cut of the grass. Smart decision.
For all Millwall have never played in the Premier League, they have had a European campaign, season after the FA Cup final. It's over 20 years ago.
Yeah, I've forgotten about that. How did they fare?
No, not very well. They lost to Ferencváros in the first game, and that was it.
Oh, that was it, right.
Here's Negley. And Negley to the edge of the penalty area. Yeah, in those days, a European campaign could be 2 games long. Imagine.
Yeah, a whole generation sort of scratching their heads at that. What?
It'd be fascinating if Nottingham Forest get relegated and end up in the Champions League. Simply don't know when they'll play the games. Here's Norrington Davis for Queen's Park Rangers. Got his cross wrong. Momentarily, it was threatening.
Yeah, look at the anguish on his face. In a great position. Got plenty of time here, Norrington Davis, to produce the right cross, probably for Burrell at the near post, and he just takes his eye off it.
Welsh international had some disappointments recently with his national team. He's won. I mean, lots of players obviously don't know where they're playing next season, but his loan will be up in the summer. And Coburn again wins the long ball. Aziz against Norrington Davis. Comes inside and puts a threatening-looking ball in. It was Coburn who almost got there, and it bounces off the chest of the goalkeeper. But they do have the opportunity to counter-attack. And the challenge just pushes it further Poku's way. And Mazusako, superb.
Yeah, what a tackle. He has had a terrific match, Mazusako. Very, very combative midfielder. He's always on his toes. He anticipates very, very well. Yeah, it was an unorthodox save from Walsh, wasn't it? This was a teasing delivery. Coburn is a centimetre or so away from towing this in. It's the chest of the QPR goalkeeper that prevents the goal.
So he's obviously fit for half an hour, Ilias Chair, and he makes his return to action. Well, Adrian, you picked out Kwame Poku before the game. What do you make of his hour?
Well, like all QPR players, I think he'll be disappointed. There were one or two flashes, one lovely little dribble and a couple of driving runs, but it's very much on the periphery of the game. I do think that Poku will come good, though, if he can stay free of injury.
Yeah, he was really unfortunate, wasn't he? He made his debut, then injured his hamstring and has missed a lot of the season.
Yeah, a large chunk of the season, yeah, and he's just had bits and pieces since returning, and he's yet to score, he's yet to produce an assist, but they will come. I think he's talented enough to thrive in the second tier.
Julian Stefan, I think, being a slightly over-enthusiastic ball boy there. He wants that from his team, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, look, sometimes you've got to do that as a manager. Set the tone.
Here's Negley, who scored the second goal. Had a chance, a really good chance to get the third as well. Aziz has done a lot of things right, Femi Aziz, today, but that goes in the other column.
Certainly does. That is a collector's item. Femi Aziz, he's a good player. Lovely left foot. And he's tormented Rangers in the opening hour or so.
Old Reading teammate of Michael Elise, who is wrapping up the Champions League and the Bundesliga. Vale just unable to keep that ball in play. So he's shifted out wide, doesn't he, now again, Harvey Vale?
Yeah, and that makes sense, yeah. Ilias Chair, it's on the left, isn't he, of a three, and you got more of a front two. It's 4-4-2, and I was surprised. They had a kick-off that you moved away from 4-4-2, because it's worked so well. You said earlier they're on a 5-match unbeaten run. That had been with that particular formation.
Norrington Davis does well against Femi Aziz, and he finds Kone. Hasn't really had an opportunity going forward. Norrington Davis to the byline, cuts it back, corner for Queen's Park Rangers.
Signs of life from the visitors, and this man, Norrington Davis, has been a bit of a driving force, hasn't he, in the second half. Got forward much more regularly, and this is excellent play from the left-back. Needed a good block from Taylor.
Those are the Rangers fans behind that goal, you can hear, urging their side on. Whipped into the near post, defended brilliantly by Cooper. Boos for Chair's his first involvement, really. And then delivered it to the area again, and it was Coburn. And Burrell now for Queen's Park Rangers, who turns, forces another corner off Mazusako.
Good spell. Much better from the R's. Burrell, I think, has lifted them since coming on. They'll be thrilled those fans behind the goal that he's fit again.
Vale with an in-swinger. Cooper wins it. Burrell will be first to it. And his pass wasn't the best. And Chair curls the ball out. It's a bit of a strong bounce there for Harvey Vale to deal with. It leads to the counter-attack now for Millwall with Denora, and he helps it on to Ballo. And he tries to go on the inside of Norrington Davis, who readjusted his feet really well there.
It's a great breakaway. And a nice idea from Ballo. Well defended.
Skillful again from Aziz. And he puts it close to the goalkeeper this time, but this one floated towards him kindly.
He's got good right foot as well. We've seen that in this game. Just wish he'd use it a little bit more often.
Hayden to Madsen. A new look midfield 2 at the start of the second half. There's still no shot that the goalkeepers had to save from Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah, Millwall have just edging the possession, or have done, in the second half. But yeah, those stats reflect the scoreline fairly, and well worth the lead.
And Cramer charges forward, plays a 1-2. Now can he put quality in the delivery? It was a terrific ball in, and Cook so committed to get there before Ballo.
Quality from Cook.
Hayden drives forward and finds Harvey Vale. Got Sturge backing up, and then I'm going to say, a slightly aimless ball into the area. And shared to Norrington Davis. And back again to the Moroccan midfield schemer. Elias Chair tries to make himself room to get a shot in. Still no save for the goalkeeper to make, though.
That's trademark from Elias Chair. He's been scoring goals in this way throughout his career. Impish talent, drops the shoulder. And you see exactly what he's trying to do, and he's not too far away from achieving it. This one had Patterson interested.
Ronnie Edwards coming forward and finding Harvey Vale. Midway through the second half. Mazusako again. But this time over-aggressive. The first one he won cleanly.
It's about that engine room, Mazusako. Only a youngster, and yeah, wins the first ball well. And then, he is a little bit overzealous there. I think that is a free kick, despite his protestations.
Harvey Vale made the switch to play for the Republic of Ireland in the recent international break. Ended in disappointment, or at the start of his career, of course. And it's Vale who delivers. A little bit of indecision, but in the end, no one needs to intervene for Millwall point of view.
Yeah, disappointing cross from Harvey Vale. No one has created more big chances than him for Rangers this season, so he's made a real impact, and I guess that caught the eye of the Irish.
So, changes coming. Macaulay Langstaff is coming on, as is Tommy Watson. And Casper de Nora, terrific industry from him for 70 minutes. I think he's going off. It's slightly confusing because they've all come for a drink at the same time, and it's Ballo as well who's gone.
Well, both have worked incredibly hard during their 69 and a bit minutes on the pitch. I think both can feel really proud of themselves. Langstaff is a striker, isn't he? So I wonder whether that's a change of system. Maybe they're going to go up with 2 up themselves here under Alex Neil.
No, there's a big goal. Portsmouth are leading against Leicester. Leicester really being sucked at a rate of knots towards League One. It's Harvey Vale, Queen's Park Rangers, with that little impromptu break. And he comes back again to Vale. And Mazusako is the man who slams the door shut. And then Coburn wins a free kick.
Such a good platform he provides, Josh Coburn. Yeah, that's just what that goal at Portsmouth means. And I mean, Portsmouth look safe on the as live table, don't they? But Leicester, yeah, I think they need to get something today, Leicester. Otherwise, I feel they're almost certainly down.
Although there's an asterisk, isn't there, against West Bromwich Albion that will hopefully be resolved soon.
True, yeah.
Well, he's had a brilliant performance. I hope this is not the end of it here. It's that challenge there, isn't it, that Mazusako limped away from.
Yeah, you can see instantly he felt pain. Sort of a 50-50, like a block tackle, wasn't it? And look, you see his face there. He's not happy at all. Is it around the knee? You do wonder if that's a knee problem for him. I suspect that might be game over. Real shame.
Unfortunately, he shouldn't have played that pass as well, ideally, should he? Because he's kicked the ball after that, hasn't he? But it's fingers crossed it is just a little bit of pain. Now, is this the end of the game? We'll get a good send-off if it is to be that for Derek. Mazusako scored his first goal for the club today.
I think...
Trying to run it, isn't he?
I think, maybe it's not as bad as it initially looked. Yeah, he's moving a little bit better now. He just jarred it a touch.
The sub said, don't take any chances, mate. Go on, go off.
Yeah, I think for me he's not moving right, and that it should probably come off here, but let's see.
So they carry on with 10 just for the time being. Madsen defends for Queen's Park Rangers. Burrell and Kone have made all of their changes, the R's. 4 of them at half-time.
Yeah, they've stabilised Queen's Park Rangers, but not really offering any threat, are they? 4 shots, none on target. Their XG, by the way, is 0.09, which is virtually nothing. So, yeah, this is still pretty comfy.
Yeah, you can stabilise at 2-0 down fairly comfortably.
Yeah.
Can they give Millwall an uncomfortable conclusion to this game? Chair gives the ball away. Langstaff pushes it on for Kramer. A rare, careless moment there from Zach Sturge.
Yeah, he's had a good game, the left back, and a real breakthrough season.
Yeah, former Chelsea man, isn't he? Just 21. And Madsen, there's an opportunity to try and find Kone there.
It's just nothing has gone Kone's way in this game. He's run around a lot, but no real opportunities for him to score.
Mazu Sakho is still hobbling a little bit. Now Langstaff. And Aziz. And Kramer keeps on going. Delivers first time into the area. And Coburn denied when he flung himself at the ball there, Josh Coburn. Just couldn't get enough contact. And they go again, and it's Langstaff in the area. And there's an offside, only just now.
Well, I thought this was destined to end up in the back of the net. Great underlap from Kramer, and the ball in is wonderful. It's near on impossible to defend this kind of quality. It's good defending, isn't it? And a great save. Magnificent save there from Walsh with his foot. This looked like a nailed-on goal for Coburn.
Yeah, great work by the goalkeeper. He just had to spread himself as wide as he could. That would have been game over. Aiden to Manson. Norrington Davis. And dinked over the top looking for Kone. And it was out of play before the goalkeeper got it under control.
It was, but that man Egley, it's another attack-minded player that gets back inside his own box to help out his teammate. It runs right through this Alex Neil side, and that teamwork, that industry is one of the main reasons why they currently sit in second place.
Ilias Chair into the near post, volleyed away by Aziz. And it sums up Queen's Park Rangers, a good thing and a bad thing.
It's an absolute shocker from Harvey Vale. It's a couple now he's ballooned over. And yeah, his manager not hugely impressed. It's not as if he hasn't sort of got time and space here to weigh up the right kind of delivery. It's just his technique has gone horribly wrong.
So at the moment, Millwall are doing enough to have wrapped up their playoff place, depending on how Wrexham get on later. We've got a free kick here.
Great challenge initially, and then gets a little shove. High line this from QPR outside their box. They're worried, aren't they, about the aerial power of Millwall.
It's Aziz. Just over 10 minutes to go. Swings it towards that penalty spot. And Crammer wins what could have been an important header, but it's well claimed by Walsh. And he bowls it underarm for Kone to start. Queen's Park Rangers counter. They played it slightly behind Edwards and all their momentum's gone. Vale, Hayden, the block by Mazusako, still in pain.
Soldiering on. I don't know whether that's the wisest move or not, but we don't know the nature of the injury, of course. What I will say is that Madsen and Hayden look a better midfield unit than the guys that started the game for Ran and Morgan. They were overpowered, and the current duo aren't being.
Edwards decides not to go long. The cross almost got away from Mazusako, who, again, is finding it hard. Negley hits it long. And Clark Salter is who takes on the battle with Coburn. He wins this round.
He must be a nightmare to mark, Coburn. Just relentless in the way that he contests those duels.
And Kone needed a shout. Gets it out to Chair on this left side for Queen's Park Rangers. Norrington Davis. Aziz was closing down, and then almost a decent pass at the end. It wasn't the plan.
Great performance from Coburn. No goals. Obviously, he can't believe that he hasn't scored. You see there, three touches inside the 6-yard box from one of them. He was denied by a fabulous save. But yeah, look at that, central areas, holding the ball up. They get it into him. Yeah, he's tailor-made for this team.
2 in his own penalty area as well that were useful. So the top 8, as it stands, includes Wrexham. Obviously, Derby can't catch Millwall if they win today, with only 3 games to play. Wrexham can if they win all 4.
It's a great position to be in for Millwall. Completely deserved. It's been a brilliant season. And it could get even better for them. They won't roll over, that's for sure. Not against anybody in those playoffs, if that's indeed where they end up.
So it's Tuesday night at Stoke. But no doubt at all that they're up for the challenge of Tuesday night at Stoke. And then Friday at Leicester. Leicester still losing, desperate for points, and they'll play a big part in the relegation battle, will Millwall, because they've got Oxford here on the last day. 3 distinctly winnable games left to play. Here's Burrell into the penalty area. Still await Anthony Patterson being called upon to earn his money.
Yeah, a really easy day for Millwall's goalkeeper. And they'll be desperate to keep that clean sheet now.
It's delivered into that area again, and the goalkeeper does earn his money, of course. Just for any goalkeepers out there.
Yeah.
4 shots, not a single one on target, and as you say, Edwin, the XG of 0.09 is just about nothing.
Yeah, it's nominal, to say the least. Yeah, look, Millwall 5 shots on target, and their XG isn't super high, 1.09, which tells you about the quality of the 2 goals that they scored. But make no mistake, that opening 25 minutes would have been good enough to win many matches.
So the possession stats have gone massively Queen's Park Rangers' way, but as we say, you can dominate a game in terms of possession when you're losing. So the changes, Femi Aziz played his part, certainly in that opening 25-30 minutes. And Luke Kundle is on, and Mihailo Ivanovic. And it's Josh Coburn who's earned his rest.
Yeah, big ovation for Coburn. But look, Ivanovic, not a bad replacement. Natural goal scorer.
Yeah, he's their top scorer in the Championship, isn't he? Got 9, same as Coburn if you include his cup goals. And with 4 minutes of the 90 remaining, Millwall looking very comfortable. It's Negley with a free kick. Keeper fancies it. Kone trying to drive Rangers up the pitch. Vale. Stopped by Mazusako, who stayed out there. Shows what he's got in the skills locker as well.
Showboating, love it. Alex Neil. I hope he gives himself a pat on the back this evening for that call, bringing him into the side, because Mazusako has been terrific. I mean, I still don't understand why they haven't subbed him, but when he just produced, you know, a tackle and a piece of skill like that, I guess you don't take too much notice of the limp.
The limp and the grimace. But they have a relatively quick turnaround, I suppose quicker than... They've got a couple of hours extra than Stoke City. Managers would tell you that makes all the difference.
Yeah, I'm not convinced. A few hours shouldn't make too much of a difference, but yeah, they're in a brilliant position, Millwall, and these fans can legitimately dream of Premier League football.
Flick on by Ivanovic. I think offside against him because he came back past the defender. Ronnie Edwards. Vale. Kone back to Che. Norrington Davis. Vale's on the move and he nods it down into the area. Taylor away. Now Madsen. And he gets the shot away and he forces a save in the 89th minute of the game. The Millwall goalkeeper makes a save.
Yeah, we finally get one. And Madson's played okay since coming on here. It opens up for him. Speculative effort. Awkward bounce for the keeper. Dealt with it well enough.
Ivanovic doing that same job as Coburn, doing it well.
Ivanovic with Langstaff, different kind of combination for them to deal with now.
But Barry Bannon, you wanted to see him earlier, Adrian, but you're going to get a minute or two.
Yeah. Mazu Sakho finally concedes defeat and comes off, but he was superb today. Barry Bannon, I think, would be delighted to be part of a promotion-chasing Millwall side. You know, behind, even if he's not getting much game time, Bannon, you'd imagine behind the scenes he's a really good influence inside the dressing room. He's a natural leader, we know that.
Played against Queen's Park Rangers in the Premier League a while ago. We're adding 5 minutes at the end of this game. But nothing that suggests that that's a nervous 5 minutes coming up. Watson on the charge. He nudges into Norrington Davis.
A bit unlucky there, Tom Watson. Yeah, but I'm surprised he hasn't been used more often. He was wonderful for Sunderland en route to promotion last season. Obviously scored that decisive goal at Wembley. When he joined in January, I thought, well, that's a real sort of game changer, but he can't get in the team. You know, maybe you've seen why today. Obviously with Femi Aziz, but also Ballo.
And Millwall could have already just wrapped up their playoff place, and they've got a couple of Sunderland men who were successful last season on loan now. Does also show you the harsh side of it, isn't it? This promotion campaign, you're looking at these players, you no idea how many of the successful individuals will make the Premier League. Hayden might get a yellow card. Oh, he has pulled it back. I wonder whether he could have let that go, actually, that time.
Could have let it go, but it had to be a yellow card. I think almost two fouls in one here from Hayden. Look at that. He's got his arms all over him. Yanks him to the floor. And then chops through him as well. So, yeah, almost two yellows in the same attempt. I use the phrase tackle lightly.
And the willing Burrell forces Patterson to hurry. They're taking the throw in quickly. Extra ball on the pitch. The Millwall supporters finding their voice with a couple of minutes left to play. So 2 away games and they're back here on the final day. And they're still in the battle for the top 2.
Well, they've put a bit of pressure on, haven't they? Ipswich, Southampton, Middlesbrough. Over to you. We've done our part, and Ipswich have some tough games coming up. A few away matches as well. I don't think they're a lock-in at all.
Yeah, Ipswich and Southampton play each other, don't they, in the midweek of the final week. Here's Kone. Comes back his way. And then a ricochet. Game last off the Queen's Park Rangers player. Nothing really has gone for them, but then they haven't deserved a break of luck or anything.
No, look, when you start as slowly, as sloppily, as tamely as Queen's Park Rangers did here today, especially at a ground like the New Den, then you're going to get beaten. It doesn't matter what happens beyond the first 20, 30 minutes. You'll already be out of the game, and that's what we've seen here today.
It is all over. Millwall are dreaming of the Premier League, and they've taken a step in the right direction today with a comfortable victory over their London rivals, Queen's Park Rangers. They blew them away with incredible intensity in the first 20, 30 minutes. The Rangers couldn't live with. Alex Neil has been here before. He's been promoted before, and he knows what it takes to get up. He brought in Derek Mazutsako, and he scored his first goal for the club just 2.5 minutes in. The defence were being battered, and Camille Negli then produced a super finish to curl the ball into the back of the net. They had other opportunities. They've taken a step towards the Premier League. We don't know where this season will finish yet, but today's game has finished Millwall 2, Queen's Park Rangers 0.